Chatty chatty mouth Barbados say brr brr. House price gone up, gone up, brr brr.
All right. Hello. Welcome to my channel. And I would like to talk about home buying. If anyone is in the market looking for a house, the do's and the don'ts, the ups and the downs when it comes to buying your dream home or whatever the case may be. It might not be your dream home, but it could be some place for you to chill, vacation home, whatever it is. But there's so much behind buying a home that I would like to talk about. I know there are a lot of people who are in the market for buying property in today's market. It is very stressful at times. The price is sometimes not what you're able to afford. But when you're thinking about buying a home, the first thing you need to do is get yourself a realtor, and that realtor is usually someone that you trust and they can recommend you to a mortgage lender. And you need to make sure that you have your money in the bank, because for down payment you're going to need a certain amount depending on the property that you're going after, whether it's $500,000, above that, below that. Just make sure you have your assets. So when it's time for you to get that down payment, you're not, you know, running here and there, because the bank doesn't want to see any activities as far as your money where you're getting, because they're going to ask you where all that funds are coming from. So you have to make sure. So the first thing, as I say, you have your realtor. You make sure you have a letter of approval, or if not, sometimes the realtor will get a mortgage lender to help you with getting an approval of whether 200,000 or whatever it is that you're going after. If you're going after a large, small, medium-sized home, it all depends. So based on that, your income comes into place. Um, your credit, that's very important. And once you start this process, don't do anything unusual, like don't go out and buy a new car or anything above $1,000, because they're going to question that. It's going to be on your credit report, and that's when you find that sometimes you get into trouble and you may not get the house, because that really happens to people when they go out and start buying, shopping, large items, like anything, as I say, above $1,000. Even depositing money of more than $1,000 into your account, and it's not from your income. You don't get a paycheck for $1,000 a week. They're gonna question that. And even up to the last minute, they will want everything again. They will want to check your credit report again, just weeks or maybe a week into your closing on this property. They will want to see if there's um, anything new on your credit report. They're going to ask you again for bank statements, and everything has to look official. Because they want to make sure that where this money coming from, they can track it. They want to know the source. They check to make sure that you still have a job. You don't go quitting your job and say, well, you're going to quit job thinking, okay, you start the process. They're going to check. And if they find that you quit your job and start something over, you can forfeit that mortgage. You can forfeit all. the whole deal. So that's something you have to keep in mind. And if your job is more than 50 miles away, or even 70, 75 miles away one way, they're going to question whether or not you're going to be traveling back and forth um, from your home to that job. So you have to make sure you have all that organized. That way, your mortgage process can go very smoothly. Otherwise, you're going to be paddling up the creek without a paddle. Um, yeah, I mean, buying a house or buying a new home can be excited. It can be fun. As I say, it might not be a dream home, but it's something that you look forward to having. But at times, it is very stressful, and the process it's really stressful because they don't make it easy for you. And I was told by a realtor that if they were to tell you the things that you have to do in the process, people would not even bother with the buying of a home. Because if a realtor was to say, oh, they're going to drill you for this, that, you're not going to want to do it. But after you already invest money into it, like you have to come up with a the first down payment for the escrow account. You don't want to lose that 7, 10,000 or more dollars, especially if you're not a wealthy person. So you put all that money up as down payment, and on top of that you have to pay out of pocket for inspection, and of course you have to sometimes pay for appraisal. So you pay all that money, it all adds up, even though it's not a whole lot, but you're looking at 10, 15,000 dollars out of your pocket, depending on how much the home is going for. So you don't want to get into a situation where you have to forfeit the deal because you could end up losing that money. So the whole process, it's very time consuming. You have to stay on track. And it's good that in these days most of the stuff can be done on the computer, where you can sign your documents and make it easier for you. You can sign documents on your online, either by your phone or if you have a computer. So it's much easier than years ago when you have to write things on paper, run into the realtor's office, or mail stuff. Most of the time you can do these things via the internet, or you can fax whatever documents. But at the end of the tunnel, it can be very excited, and you can say, yeah, that's something I can check off my bucket list, that now I'm a homeowner, or it could be a second home or a third home. It all depends, but it is excited. And it's fun knowing that you don't have to pay rent if you mortgage a home. So that is something that most people really want, um, as far as getting something for themselves. It's nice to be able to say I'm a homeowner versus I rent, because I myself, I rather be a homeowner than to be a rental owner or a rental person. So yeah, so this is all I have to say as far as when it comes to buying a home, and the things that you need to remember. Just make sure that you have your bank account ready with all your money, and your FICO score has to be, way up there, maybe in the 700s. And with that, you can get a very good interest rate when they do get you a mortgage. Yeah. So your money is good. Your FICO score or credit report is good. You have a good job for at least you have a job working good money for at least 2 years or more. and you're ready mentally. Because if you're not ready mentally, it can be very stressful.
Without those things, it can be a challenge.
Yeah, so yeah, it can be a challenge without having the necessary things that I just mentioned. And good support system also. You need someone to support you, to help you. As far as the realtor, they're usually good. Your significant other, spouse, wife, husband, whoever, if they're part of it, that's even better. Sometimes two income is better than one also, but both of you should have very good, strong credit reports or FICO scores, good jobs, because if one doesn't have it, it could be very hard because then they want stuff from you, they want it from him, it's too much. So each person need to be able to show proof of everything that the bank is requesting if you're going in to buying a home jointly. And if you're doing it singly, that's okay if you're able to manage, because then it's all on you and you can prove certain things.
But buying it cash and not going through the bank.
So that's it. That's all I have to say.
The buying through.
Chatty chatty mouth Barbados say brr brr. House price gone up, brr brr.